I don't agree with people just thinking the Lions are by far and away the best team in the NFL and nobody in the NFC can touch them. Right now, as it stands, do I think the Lions are the best team in the NFC? Yes. Do I think if the Eagles match up with them, that the Eagles will get the upper hand? I do think so. And sometimes things have to be very simplified. You just got to dumb things down to a very simple level and just measure both of these teams. In front of me, I have 13 total categories, Eagles versus Lions. Quarterback, who's better?
Hurts.
Eagles. Running back, who's better?
Running back room, Detroit. But
I would say Detroit.
Better running backs is Saquon.
That duo's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm saying
it
Detroit.
is. I also find myself going Detroit.
I'll write down the Lions because you guys, it's 2v1. And also I think it's fair. They have two great running backs. Eagles have one great running back. Wide receivers.
It's easily us.
Yeah, Philly.
Are we counting tight ends into this?
That would be the next category.
It's close.
I would just say pass catchers in general. But
The thing is, I know Smitty is better than Jameson. He's better than him.
It's like not close.
The production that Jameson has put up when he's been on the field.
Jameson's nice. He gets a lot of big plays. And if he doesn't get that big play, it's like,
AJ's better than Amon-Ra, though.
And yeah, I don't think it's that close.
Oh my God! I mean, Amon-Ra every single week is doing something impactful.
Hey, we undefeated when AJ Brown plays.
Wide receivers, Philly.
Wide receivers, we're going with the Eagles.
I'll go. I defer to y'all.
Tight ends.
It's close.
Are we going with Laporte?
I'm honestly gonna go push.
It's a
Let's go
toss-up.
push here.
Dallas has been good this
But
year.
I was gonna say because Laporte's been down, you can give the respect
Dallas
to
has
Dallas.
always been steady though. He's been a really good tight end. So I'll say push.
Let's go with the Eagles. I categorize
Wait, Eagles. You're taking Goddard.
tight end.
That's why I said
Goddard.
push.
Yes, I'm taking the Eagles with
Push,
tight end.
push, Eagles. I guess it's Eagles.
Yeah, I think because right now Laporta just has not been the same. No. The Lions are scoring 40 points every other game. He's not doing anything.
It's facts.
But if you measure his rookie production,
that goes to his Smitty point.
Thank you.
Like, and it's not because Smitty's not getting open. He just doesn't get the ball, but we're still
That's
beating
kind of
teams.
exactly what I mean.
I know, but also Philly isn't throwing nearly as much. As
Yeah,
Detroit
for
is.
sure.
It's just
But
not
that's what
getting
he's saying.
opportunities.
It's kind of the same, not
That's
the same, but I
exactly
get what he's
what I
saying.
mean.
But
And now-
Detroit's throwing the ball and they're scoring like.
But
Yeah,
that's
I
what.
know.
But Jameson is insane after the catch.
but I do think that like Dallas Goedert has years of production.
He does.
Laporta just had one rookie season,
It
and then
was
but then he
best.
dropped off. Then he's not the same.
10 touchdowns.
I do wonder, are they using him as a blocker? That's on me. Maybe I need to go back and see, like, why is it that his
He's just
usage
not
is so
used
much down?
I just think that Dallas Goedert deserves that respect
Yeah, for
right
sure.
now.
He's a
I'm cool
great
with that.
tight
I'm
end.
cool
Yeah,
with that.
that's fair.
Offensive line,
I think it's push.
I gave it a tie because according to PFF, the Eagles have a better pass blocking grade. The Lions have a better run blocking grade.
I'm cool with the
But
push.
both
These
of those
are
offensive
top two in
lines
the
are
league.
elite. It's a tie. It's
Yeah,
whatever.
I think we have the best offensive lineman though.
Push here, not push tight end.
Lane. Yeah.
Sewell's up there too.
I think Lane
those are probably
Sewell
the two.
is
No, I think he's
insane.
elite. I think Lane is the best tackle in the league though.
I was talking to Sean about this. I'm just like, yo, if Sewell decides to stay with the Lions, we're talking about an all-time great
Hall of
line. Like
Famer.
he'll get his number
Yeah,
retired.
for sure.
type.
I mean, Lane would say as well.
Defensive line.
I think it's us.
I think
because
it is the
Aiden's not
Eagles.
playing.
Correct.
It would be a lot
Yeah.
closer if Aiden was playing.
If Aiden was playing, I think it would probably go to the Lions. You know,
I'm
he's
fine
he's
with that.
that
Tuff's out a few weeks. I saw
defense
he had
player of the year
surgery or
candidate.
some shit.
But
we got
yes,
some dudes on there, man. I
it is the Eagles' defensive line right now. Linebackers.
Right now,
think it might be us.
it might be the Eagles.
And it's a clearing.
Yeah.
No, it's not even close.
Yeah,
Like Zach
they've
Bond
been
and Kobe
amazing.
Dean. Yes. Corners.
That is easy, Eagles.
Quinyon.
And now safeties, we go with the Lions
going with
with
the
Kirby
Lions.
Joseph,
Jesus.
Brian Branch.
Shout out to Reed though. Always makes
He's
a
been
big
holding
play
it
when
down.
he needs
And then
to.
I have more categories.
Have you kept count? Where are we right now?
Yeah, I have kept count. We're
thank
at
God.
10. There's 3 more categories.
No, apologies. I'm saying in favor of the Eagles and in favor.
Oh,
of the
we're
Lions.
okay. Right now, quarterback Eagles, wide receiver Eagles, tight end Eagles, defensive line Eagles, linebackers Eagles, corners Eagles.
So
That's
6 to
6.
4.
6.
Okay.
Head coach
Clearing.
is
Dan
Lions.
Campbell by a lot.
Offense coordinator.
You
Clearing.
could just go. Let's just group coaching.
No, because I think our
'Cause Vic
defensive
is better.
Defensive
Yeah.
coordinator.
But
yes.
Aaron Glenn's amazing.
Glenn's
I don't
But
think
he's
I
not
think
Vic
he's
Fangio.
I think Vic Fangio is
You were
better.
disrespecting Vic Fangio last year.
No, I wasn't. I just said it takes time to adjust to his system. That's
Hey,
what I said.
one
Exactly.
year into Philly, they figured it out.
Yeah, because I was unsure about the talent. It was a bunch of rookies and Zach Bond who converted from edge rusher to linebacker.
I think you called us frauds after like week 4.
The defense, Vic Fangio, it takes time for that
agree.
defense to gel together. That's why at Miami, they never gelled together in that 1 year. You drafted a rookie corner in Quinyon and Cooper DeJean. You had no idea what they were going to be. They ended up being studs. And Zach Bond converted from being an edge rusher in year 5 or 6, and he's an all-pro linebacker. Nobody could see that coming.
Aaron Glenn loses the DPOY and the defense still is playing at this high of a level.
Aaron Glenn's going to get head coaching interviews. I think Vic Fangio, if you want to say he's better, that's fine. I think they're in the conversation with each other.
Like, I could hear a push here, too.
I just think we didn't expect Philly's defense to be right now ranked like 3rd.
No. But once Hutchinson went down, I was not expecting Detroit to stay in the top 5.
That's fair. But that's fair. It's like
that's where I'm at.
I would take us. I think Vic, we're giving him the respect, the years.
He's
and
a legend.
Stuff like,
He's a defensive legend.
The 2 biggest areas that Detroit clears is head coach and offensive coordinator. So it's 6-4 in favor of Philly, but a lot of those are close. Like a lot of those is like, maybe outside like linebacker, like defensive line, Detroit's got some talent. Secondary, they got some talent. But offensive coordinator, I like Kellen Moore. Ben Johnson's the best in the game. Head coach, nobody really likes Nick Sirianni. Dan Campbell is one of the best motivating head coaches in the NFL right now.
No, he is. And we looking at the total categories right now, the Eagles have won quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, defensive line, linebackers, corners, defensive coordinator. That's 7 to we have a tie at offensive line, and then they won head coach, OC, safety, and running back.
Don't get me wrong, or if I'm not mistaken, have you made a decision?
I said Philly.
No, he said the Eagles already.
All right, I wasn't sure.
But he definitely put an asterisk. He said if the lines are at home. So I'm assuming if the lines are on the road,
50-50.
So whoever gets the 1
Philly.
seed, you're taking.
I would still take Philly just because I'll ride with Jalen Hurts, but it becomes a lot closer to me.
I think.
So the separator for you between the 2 teams is quarterback.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I'm kind of in
obviously,
the same boat.
Jalen Hurts,
truthfully.
obviously, he's one of my favorite players in the league, but Jared Goff, as much as he could get shit on, bro, he's had games where he's been perfect this year. He threw for 400 yards and fucking 4 touchdowns. He's going 18 for 18. He's not making any mistakes. He does have those games for sure where he throws 5 interceptions. I think I've said this. His lows are really fucking low where it is disastrous. But for the most part, he's been one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league this season.
No,
for me,
Goff's been pretty amazing.
Defensive line play is the holy grail. I feel like when you have a dominant defensive line, you have a dominant offensive line, it could take you a lot of places, and those teams often end up winning Super Bowls. Look at the Chiefs. You have Chris Jones on the defensive side, and then offensive line, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And then Mahomes negates some of the left tackle and tackle issues in general. The reason why I side with the Eagles is not just because I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback, because I do think he's a better quarterback, but I don't think it's by that much. I think Jared Goff is an exceptional quarterback in his own right. The real reason why I side with the Eagles is because, number one, I trust their ability to protect Jalen Hurts. Who on the lines is going to generate pressure? I mean, you have Lane Johnson against Zadarius Smith or Jordan Mailata against Zadarius Smith. I mean, that's your edge rusher that you're trusting, and then you have a great interior offensive line. And I love Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader, but are any of those guys going to change a game against that Eagles offensive line? I don't think so. And then it's the Lions corners versus the Eagles receivers. I don't trust their corners to match up with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and then you still got to worry about Dallas Goedert and then Saquon out the backfield. That's where I think the difference in that matchup comes. And then on the opposite side, the Eagles have an elite defensive line. And if they can pressure Jared Goff is going to have a much tougher time dealing with that than Hurts is if they get pressure at him. So that's where I lean the Eagles. And I'm glad that you mentioned the Dan Campbell point, Dels, because Nick Sirianni, he lost a lot of trust in Eagles fans, in the media, in everyday football fans alike last year with the way that the Eagles collapsed. But when you look at his resume, he's 42-19 as a head coach, 69% win percentage. When he took the Eagles head coaching job, the Eagles came from a 4-11-1 season, and their win total was 6.5 wins. And he took that team to the playoffs, and they went 9-8 with a quarterback in Jalen Hurts who we did not know what he was going to be yet. Devontae Smith was a rookie receiver. They didn't have a plethora of great pass catching options. They were led by their offensive and defensive line. After that year, the very next year, they win 14 games. Nick Sirianni has had one bad year where he made the wrong calls on coordinators with Sean Desai and then Brian Johnson. He learned from that. He picked better coordinators with Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, and now the Eagles are on their way to being the first seed in the NFC. it's not like Dan Campbell is without his warts. Isn't he the same guy that blew a 17-point lead in the NFC Championship game to the 49ers? I think Dan Campbell is more likable. He's more passionate. You can even argue that because Nick Sirianni gets very passionate. Dan Campbell gives you more energy. Like you feel like you can trust him more. But Nick Sirianni, with these results that he has, we can't just act like, yeah, Dan Campbell is by far and away better than Sirianni, because if we're talking about who's the most important coach on the Lions, you could argue it's Ben Johnson. And if the Lions lose Ben Johnson, that might be like the Eagles losing Shane Steichen, and then we have to see who Dan Campbell replaces him with. So all I'm saying is that Nick Sirianni, I feel like with him and Dan Campbell, it's more of a push for a head coach, for who could be the better one. Nick Sirianni took a team to the playoffs that was projected to finish as the worst team in their division, and he doesn't get credit for that. He made one mistake, picking bad coordinators last year, and that cost the Eagles, but he has redeemed himself this year.